Bonjour, peeps. Hi, this is Neshi Lokatz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page, where we do the daily live stream for the card of the day, energy. And today is Thursday, September 13th, 2018. We'll slide the year in there just in case somebody needed to know the year. Welcome to the Star Nations Academy, where I do my live streams from most often. We're preparing for a class that's going to be happening here on September 22nd weekend, The Magic of Hogwarts, with Minnie Kansman and I. And so we're in the midst of getting things prepped for the class, and it's an exciting time. I like doing stuff like painting, and the gardens are all spruced up already. We had some help with that earlier in the week, and so we're making things happen. It's going to look good. Hey, Mervyn Kelly, welcome. Good afternoon to you. Mervyn is across the pond. He's in England, eastern side of England, if I remember right. Good afternoon. And yeah, today it's really pretty here today. I was outside with George early in the morning, and it wasn't too cool. It was comfortable. The only problem was the mosquitoes. Still needed a jacket because of those little things that fly. But it was really very pretty out at the sunrise, and yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. So this morning's card draw, I think you guys are going to like it. I think you will. But before I get started, I'm going to remember to ask for people to share and to like the broadcast. I usually start talking and I completely forget to ask to do that. And the reason why we do is because it's easier for others to find us, number one. And number two, it's kind of like, a civil service, right? We're light workers here. We're energy workers. Most of us here at Star Nations community. And it's just one of those things that if we can help somebody with information that we may have, it's dharma. It's good stuff. It's good stuff to do. So I'm going to be sharing. I'm going to share it to my timeline, and also to the closed group for Star Nations Radio magazine and radio closed group. And I'm just going to say, hi, I'm live streaming right now, and please join. There we go. That's to my timeline. And then we're going to share it to the closed group. The closed group is where a lot of the active Star Nations community members hang out. So we just want to ask them to come join us, to remind them, right? Oh, yeah. I'm just going to say, hey, peeps, because that's what I call them, because they're my peeps. I'm live streaming. And we're going to say, please join. There we go. Simple. And actually, I like using my phone for the shares. You know why? It's because they have the quick keys. It makes it so much easier. Yeah, I don't have to worry about the spelling thing, right? The spelling thing. And it's not so much the spelling as it is the size of the keys and hitting the wrong key, right? Hey, good morning, Elise Miller. Thanks for being here. And Mary Anderson Fry for joining us. Before we jump into the energy of the card, the essence, I should say, how about if we take a moment to turn our attention to the southeastern coast of the United States, where Hurricane Florence, which happens to be my mom's name, is coming ashore today. And I heard that it was downgraded from a category 4 to a category 2, which is a blessing, right? They're still worried about, they, meaning the meteorologists and the emergency government people, they're still concerned about the amount of rain that's going to come with the hurricane and flooding. And so, just sending out prayers and good thoughts, to those people who live in that area and who've been evacuated, and wishing that everyone be as safe as possible, and that they were able to take their pets with them, right? Yeah. So just, more than wishing them well, seeing them safe. And this is a part of nature, right? The hurricane. Grandmother Earth has a way of cleansing herself, and natural occurrences like the hurricanes and some of the wildfires and that sort of thing are a way of her to be able to do that. And in my family, there's a tradition called giving tobacco, right? It's a belief, and one that I wholeheartedly believe in. I've seen too many examples that is. Oh, my husband's here. It's right there. Look at the handle. He's here. He can't. I had George's leash, and so he had to come up and get it. And so Grandmother Earth has a way of clearing and cleansing herself, right? And this is a part of it. In my family, we give tobacco, and whenever there's really intense storms, right? Thunderstorms, tornadoes, even snowstorms, is that we give tobacco, not to stop it or to interfere with it per se, but is to ask that they pass over us gently, and that we're prepared, right? We're prepared to have the effects, but to please go over gently. We're not stopping it. That if it was generated by Grandmother Earth herself, there's a reason for it. If it's man-made, person-made, like some of the wildfires out west, intentionally set, some of them were accidentally set, but it was a person involved, right? Now that's an entirely different situation, especially if it's intentionally set. So, you can, in my world, we can ask for the fire to be diverted out and around certain areas, and to give, prayers to those firefighters, right, who are trying to do their best they can. So the hurricane, I know that there's people who are in Star Nations community who live in the Carolinas and Virginia along the eastern shore there, and so our prayers are with you, and that you're safe, and that you're comfortable, right, and that you're able to take your pets with you. That's one of my worries. And so it's our thoughts, our hearts are with you, and if we can be of any help at all, you let us know, okay? And we'll do the best we can to give you a hand with something. So Connie Shearwater is here with us, one of Star Nation's elders. Welcome, Connie. I'm so glad to see you in the chat. And Nellie is saying, and also shouting at us to get our act together. Yes, Grandmother Earth is saying, come on, let's get it together here. If our vibration, if what we did, our decisions to, as a whole, broad stroke, right, as a whole, two-leggeds, that we would be taking better care of our environment, better care of our home, better care of Grandmother Earth's body. We wouldn't be leaving trash. We would be able to recycle plastic, or not even have plastic. better choices around those things. We wouldn't be fracking. We wouldn't be drilling for oil in places that shouldn't be drilled for oil. There's alternative, actually better energy use than the fossil fuel. So you're right, Mervyn, you're absolutely right. It's also a heads up, get our act together. Hi, Jackie. Jackie's with us too. Good morning. Cindy Lynn, good morning, Cindy Lynn. I hope things are well by you. Cindy Lynn is one of those people who lives on the East Coast. And yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with you, Cindy Lynn. Mary saying, pass over us gently. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Because, there's certain things that Grandmother Earth does that she needs to do that. And so rather than pulling away from it or struggling with it or trying to control it, is to work in cooperation, right? In cooperation with her. Yeah. Susan Elizabeth Kerr, hi, good morning. Glad to see you in chat. Cindy Lynn says, it seems to have followed me when I left and I wasn't able to bring my fur babies. Oh, no. Oh, okay. So we'll send some prayers that your fur babies are safe and that you're going to be able to return home very quickly, right? That you're safe, but you're able to return to your home. Yeah, return to your home in a way that is safe for you and that you can be with them and make sure that they're taken care of. Yeah. Lisa's saying hi to everybody, and Cindy Lynn said thank you for the prayers, appreciated for all of us in the Carolinas and other areas. Yeah. All right. So the cards that, for those who may not, maybe it's your first time here with us, it's a card draw that I started. Well, actually, I've been doing it for years. In the mornings, is wanting to have my spiritual team share with me the energy that's flowing that day that's important for me to know about for my highest good, right? And in last fall, I want to say October-ish, so it's been almost a year, I started adding it to the Star Nations organization's Instagram account, a quote from the card draw. And then in this May, I had the brilliant idea, light bulb moment, to share the card draw with the Star Nations community as a live stream and to be able to have a conversation around it, and maybe come to an understanding of the essence of the card that was drawn, and how it affects us on this given day, right? Okay, so I meet with my spiritual team, the whole team, every morning, and we do the card draw. And so this is the cards that we're using right now. It's the Pathway to Healing cards by Brian L. Weiss, MD. Yes, medical doctor. Western trained medical doctor who is also a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and a hypnotherapist. And it was through the hypnotherapy that he came to understand and believe in past lives. And because his patients were when they were in hypnotherapy, they started describing past lives to him. And so, and realized that when something was healed in a past life, it affected the current life. Yeah. Yep. And one of his patients, a woman who was under hypnosis, he thought that, because she had been to him several times, thought that she was experiencing a past life, right? And what she was describing. But what she was really describing to him was a future life, possibilities for a future life. There was at least, I think, two different paths, two different ways to that next future life, depending on the decisions made in this current life. And so that is what his book was about. This book. Same souls, many bodies. Discover the healing power of future lives through progression therapy. And for some people, it's kind of a squeamish, a little some anxiety around what do I want to do influencing a future life when I can barely take care of this one. But this one has, our current life has many aspects of a past life that we are balancing out karma. We are healing maybe ancestral lineage curses or situations, those kinds of things. And so, yeah. So the decisions we make in this life actually affect a future life. And so he developed these cards, the Pathway to Healing cards, based on that book. And the card that was chosen today is this one. I like the artwork on this one. I always remember that I am a spiritual being. I always remember that I am a spiritual being. And the backside, your true essence is your soul, which is eternal and exists in an ocean of love. You are not your body. There is so much in this card. When I read the card and I was able to sit there a little bit, because things were actually quite slower around my house this morning. And I had time to really sit with this card. Because when I first read I always remember that I'm a spiritual being. You know, we've heard that phrase or something like it quite often in the last, I would probably say, I don't know, close to 10 years maybe. It's been in books, it's been on videos, it's been in conversations and in classes, and, you know, that we know that we're consciously awake on our journey here, our earth walk here, when we understand and remember that we are a spiritual being first, having a physical existence and a physical experience, right? Yeah. When you have that remembering, or that, and it comes in sometimes like an aha kind of moment, right? That you are awake. You're awake to your life and your soul's growth. And it puts a whole different filter, whole different spin on your experience here. Many times the things that we deem negative, in the moment, you know, we have our emotions about it. But if we take that deep breath and we give it a little space, and we ask our spiritual team to help us to look at this, to understand it with clarity, what's really going on here. And so you're kind of zooming out a little bit to understand the bigger picture, right? And to understand what part of that situation or event that's occurring for you is about your soul growth. It's an opportunity for your soul to grow. But, you know, what we do is we focus in on the present moment in the physical life. And sometimes we do pretty good with it. You know, we roll with it, and we come out on the other side of it maybe a little bruised, and our ego is battered a bit, but we come on the other side of it and we say, yeah, we did it, right? And other times we go kicking and screaming. I don't want that to happen. Or we do the pity party. Why does this always happen to me? Now, I've been there. I've been there. In my 20s and 30s, I was there. Why does this always happen to me? Kind of thing. And so, yeah. When we remember that we are a spiritual being first, and I'm going to add this to the essence of the card, is that we are a human being, a spiritual being, a universal being. That we come from the Creator, from God, and that we have many lives. Our soul has many, many experiences. And so to narrow it down to only this one experience here on planet Earth, on Grandmother Earth, minimizes the wisdom of our soul. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, because our soul has so much more experience when we expand it out even further and understand that we are a universal being. Yes, we are a spiritual being, but we're also a universal being. All right, let's see. What are you guys saying in the chat over here? Let's see. Mary Anderson Fry saying Mother Earth is just ridding of herself of irritating ants. There's some truth in that, Mary. I do believe that if Grandmother Earth didn't want us two-leggeds here, she could shake us off very easily. She is an immense energy. She is a huge spiritual being, sentient being herself. And if she didn't want us here, we would not be here. Yeah. If she made that decision, you're right. I would say to me, it's kind of more like when a dog shakes off, right? Shakes off beads of water or something like that. She could easily do that, and she hasn't for billions of years. Billions of years, she hasn't done that. Yeah. Cindy Lynn saying, "Oh, good guy." Yep. Mm-hmm. And Elisa's saying, "Oh my God, wish I could help you, Cindy Lynn." Yeah, that's nice. Thank you for saying that, Elise. Because right now, for most of us from a distance, saying the prayers. But really, if there's anything that you need, please let us know, so we can see if we can help if we can, right? All right. Cindy Lynn is saying, trying to figure out which way to go. Okay. Trying to make some decisions. She's saying it's a mix of those emotions when going through stuff. Yes, it is. Good morning, Donna Welch. And Peggy Bull's here too. Peggy, good morning, Peggy. She said, I just got off the phone with an old friend. Ah. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Mervyn. Yeah. Talking about Grandmother Earth. Hasn't done it yet, hasn't shaken us off yet. And chances are we've been with her through many, 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 many things. If you think about all the way back to the sinking of Lemuria, the fall of Atlantis, right? When you think about Rome in those ancient days, there's thousands of years that we can go back in history, both written and oral tradition. And she could have done this many times. The Great Flood, that's what that was about. The fall of Atlantis and literally the sinking, all of the volcanic activity at that time. Two-leggeds were just really way out of control. And she did something about it to the point what the Atlantean priests, if that's what you want to call them, I'm not sure if that's really a correct term for them, when they took some of the ancient information and they literally dispersed so that some of that information would still survive, right? Passed down from generation to generation. But that was Grandmother Earth. And with the use of the crystals, misuse of power, actually. And so, yeah, if she wanted to, but she loves us. We're her children. She does love us. Look how much she gives to us every single day. Yeah. And let's see. Elise and Cindy Lynn are having a nice conversation. At least Cindy Lynn is saying the wind has picked up today. I think it's supposed to hit landfall this morning, right? Take a drink of coffee. So with this card, I always remember that I am a spiritual being. That is a really nice mantra, I think. Those that are in the chat, well, I was going to ask one question, but I think it really needs two. One is that do you believe that you are a spiritual being? And the second half of that question is that do you recall when you made the realization that you are more than just a physical body? I had to think about that a little bit this morning when I was contemplating the card. In some ways, because of the family that I grew up in and the culture I grew up in, some of that came early, like, as a child. I remember the first time I shared with my mom about the dreams that I was having, that I said, it doesn't feel like a dream, it feels real. And having the sensation of being at the treetops and then coming in and hearing the whooshing sounds and explaining that it kind of felt to me like when you're on a roller coaster or in a car, when you go over the dips and the hills, and and you have that kind of funny feeling when you in the car when they goes really fast, and and so I remember her she was helping me get ready for school. Breakfast time during school days when I was a kid, yeesh. Oatmeal every morning. And she'd be, I'm trying to eat, and she's, and getting my brothers to eat, and she's trying to fix my hair at the same time. And I'm trying to tell her about this dream I had. And just matter of factly, she just said, "Oh, you're traveling, you're soul traveling. When did you start that?" And I remember thinking, soul traveling? How can my soul travel if I'm not, my body's not there with it? And I was only like 12 years old, So I think that was the first time I had that realization that, wow, my soul, my spirit can actually leave and come back. And that's that whooshing sound that I was hearing. So it's, hey, somebody's here. We have a surprise visitor. George is here, and he's awake. Hey, baby. Come here, baby. Georgie. Oh, look at you. Aren't you the best boy? Come here. Come here, best boy. Oh, you're all wet. He was out for a walk. Look at that. Hello, baby. Isn't he a good boy? Yeah, this is George. Oh, George. Oh. Okay. He's all wet. They went for a walk. They walked up through the woods between our house and the academy. Yeah, he's a good boy. He makes me happy. He's so cute. He's so cute when he's not biting. He's teething really bad. Oh my gosh. And so that was the first time that I can honestly say that I went, huh? Really? My soul's traveling. Now, then, you have to fast forward to probably my 30s, where I made connected the next dots. That my body is like the tool that my soul uses to experience the physical, and so that kind of realization, All right. So Donna is saying, definitely. Jackie said yes to that question. And Cindy Lynn and Elise are having the same continued conversation about the hurricane and where Cindy Lynn resides. She says that she's living east of Raleigh, but currently northeast of Charlotte. And Cindy Lynn says, yep, she was about 6 or 7 when she made that first realization. And Mervyn is saying yes. And when I think back, I would have to say I realized that as a child, but without really understanding what it meant until much later. Yes, exactly. Me too. Yeah, and then the reaction to George, so sweet. This is what Jackie is saying, and Elise says, absolutely love puppy breath. And so it is the back side of this card. Your true essence is your soul, which is eternal and exists in an ocean of love. You are not your body. I lost my puppy. Oh, there he is. There he is. Don't you just love it when you hear them running and you hear that clap, 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 clap over there with their feet? I like that sound. Okay, so yesterday, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was the day before, we were talking. George, oh, such a good boy. He's going to lay down. We were talking about love, being filled up with love, and that the universe is love, right? And I said, and I was saying something like that the love is already there. We are already filled with love. If the universe is love, then we are filled with love, and that there's very little that we have to do to fill ourselves with love, because it's already there. What we have to do is to do our healing work, to heal our emotional and mental traumas, to clear the debris from there so that we can remember, that we can feel it, that we can experience the love, right? And this card, when it says that our soul exists in an ocean of love, I believe that he is referring to the universe. All right, that we as spiritual beings, we are surrounded by love all the time, And so it's not until I believe that when we are in our physical body, that when we're out of balance with our mental mind and our heart, that we separate ourselves from that love, that we don't include ourselves in the existence within the universe. It's like separating ourselves out from nature, right? Sometimes he can be a goofy boy. There is, I think that realization that we are more than just our physical bodies. And yet, our physical bodies is what allows our spirit to experience this life on earth, a physical life, right? And maybe that's where the blessing is. I know more than one person who either wonder why they're here because they don't want to be here, or they just don't want to be here. That it's too hard, that it's too painful. That is, he loves my meditation stuff, the cushions. He's going to start meditating. And so when our soul decided to be here, to do that soul contract and get the blessing to be here, to be selected really to be here, I find it, I don't even know what word to use for it. I'm trying to think of a good word to describe it. Is being lost. That's a good word. Lost. When we're disconnected, when we feel that we're not a part of the universe, not connected to nature, that we focus on the misery rather than the love that surrounds us all the time, that's in us, flows through us, through the universe, our pranic tube, our crystalline tube, constant flow. You know, and it's not that I haven't been there too, because I have. When you feel like that there's no hope for something different. Yeah. And it really was through a lot of emotional trauma healing that I can say that I feel the love that surrounds me, and it's not, that's a part that I do believe that's a part of our essence here. Our soul growth is to grow through that. And when we put the brakes on, and when we dig our heels in, when we struggle against it and say, I'm not doing that. Okay, you get the push me, pull me, or the come here, go away. Is we want it to be different. We want to have love. We want to be at peace and at joy. We want to have an abundant life. But when it comes time to actually do the work and face that dark part of ourselves, all right, the scary part of ourselves, we turn away from it and not do the work. And I know that it's like leading a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? I've been there. I certainly have been there. My goodness, 2017, I was there. I didn't want to change. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I made it so much harder on myself. Oh my God. You know, I look back at that now and I'm still integrating. It's not something that is complete history and part of my soul's growth only. I'm still going through the integration period. How long does that last? I don't know. I don't know. I do my best every day to say, okay, how do I use the information, the lesson that I learned? How do I use that today in a good way? And when somebody tries my patience, and I sit back, it's like, you know what? This is a small thing compared to things that are happening in other places that are life-threatening. You know, I can make one more cup of tea. I can wait for, the slowness. It's doable. And I can find some joy in it. Where is the joy? Where is the joy? And so I'm still integrating. And I think that's part of what Dr. Weiss is saying here is that we are not our body. Our body is the vehicle to have this physical experience, just like the Merkabah is our ascension vehicle. Our physical body is our vehicle to experience this physical world. Yeah. Sometimes I think about our spiritual guides, our spiritual team, the guides, the teachers, the ascended masters, the power animals, the totems, all those in spirit who are helping each one of us, right? they assist us so that we can learn the lessons that we're supposed to learn here in the best way possible. Um, but it's not their experience. They don't have a physical body. They can't do the work for us. And if we weren't in this physical body, maybe we would be a guide. Maybe, maybe we would be taking some R&R someplace, some spiritual R&R, where you're not in the physical body and you're just kind of blissing out somewhere. I don't know. Um, yeah. Donna's saying, I've been on my journey since GLR in 2008 when I had a drum. Hi, Donna. I believe our healing is ongoing. We're all trying to return to love. I believe that too. I do. And I would actually say to remember love, because I believe that love is already here. Love is already, we're already immersed in it. We're filled up with it from the inside out. Um, and for me, it's the remembering, and it's the balancing of the mental mind, the egoic mind, and our heart, our emotions. And when we have that balance, when they're working together, and literally the soul is taking the lead, not the ego, but the soul taking the lead, is when we're experiencing our life from our high heart. You know, when, and this is what I'm integrating. This is what I'm integrating, is having experiencing this life where my soul is leading, and that my ego or my mental mind is the servant to the soul. That's what I'm integrating. Kind of makes me a little weepy, a little verklempt when I talk about it. Um, why does it make me verklempt? Emotional about it? It's an emotional happiness, is what it is. It's not a sadness. It's not a it's not a gloominess. It's not nothing like that. No, it is an emotional happiness. Yep. And it's day by day, it's moment by moment. When I feel my emotions over the top for the situation, that's an indicator for me that my ego is asserting itself out of balance. Yeah. So Donna, do you use your drum? Please say you do. Yeah. One of these days, wouldn't it be nice, is having all those people who made drums with me, or I made a drum for them, if we could actually gather someplace and drum together. I think that would be like way cool. Way cool. Yeah, Cindy's saying definitely some R9. I know. I'm always thinking, like, after this one, after I return to spirit, I would like to experience some downtime. Just some time. Talk about integration. Can you imagine with that, as a soul, integrating this experience and weaving it all together in all our past lives, or parallel lives, really. And so, as that spiritual being, is having that downtime, to really bring that all in, and preparing for the next experience, right? The next physical experience. I don't know why, but I just had Indiana Jones kind of figure, kind of image come through, and even the music. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that one. And Donna's saying, so true. Yep, joy. And I have to say that, given the last year and a half, when I experienced those moments of joy, there's no doubt. There's no, gee, I think that's my imagination, or I don't, you know it. And I'm grateful for it. And I think about, okay, so what was I doing? What was I thinking about when I experienced that moment of joy, so that I can remember how to hold that vibration for longer periods of time. Yeah. Sometimes it happens in the most, what you might call odd times. I call it kitchen duty. It takes about an hour to an hour and a half kitchen duty, um, because my mom is, her meals are on a schedule, both her snacks and her meals. The meals, I am not a very good person in the kitchen. I can do it. I don't find it to be fun. Just like I really don't like grocery shopping. I'd rather be using my energy in other ways. But kitchen duty, I usually have some really fun music playing, trying to figure out, okay, how do I make this or that? And it's in that time that sometimes, not all the time, I have this strong feeling of joy. All right. Now you'd think that would happen when I'm doing something really, that I find fun, and it, mm-mm. So I think that's trying to tell me something, don't you? I think so. Well, he's saying I'm hoping to do a drum class in the spring. Yeah, I still have to set that date. I'm going to do that soon so we can get the information out there and people can start doing their planning, right? Yeah, I'll do that soon. I was going to try to do one in the fall, but with the event of George, that might not happen because Paul's going hunting to Colorado at the end of October to like the first weekend or second weekend of November. And so I don't think I can stretch myself that thin between Mom, George, and doing a class and all the setup and all of that by myself. That might be a bit much. So we might just push that out to the spring and have a bigger class. I was hoping to have two small classes, but maybe we'll do one bigger one. Elise says maybe you should have been a chef. I don't know about that. My mom used to always say, you're not a bad cook. When you put your mind to it and you decide you're going to do this, you make pretty good meals. It doesn't happen all the time. Doesn't happen all the time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this card. The energy, the essence of this message. I always remember that I am a spiritual being. Your true essence is your soul, which is eternal and exists in an ocean of love. You are not your body. And what I'd like to add to that is that I do believe that the energy that's important for us to know about today is that we are that spiritual being and that we are always surrounded with love and filled with love, always. And our task, our responsibility is to do our emotional and mental trauma healing so that we can clear away the debris, the interference, the blockages, so that we can fully remember that love that's constantly with us. And I think that is today's energy. Nellie is saying, I dreamed my drum earlier last year. It's in progress. It sure is. It'll come into the physical world. Divine timing. right? Right time, right place. Right time, right place. So remember that if there's anything that we shared today that resonated with you, grab it, hold on to it, embrace it. Watch how the day unfolds for you, the energy unfolds. Um, yeah, and turn your attention to, and even if you have to use your imagination, that's okay. Being surrounded by love and being filled with love. Love flowing through you in a gentle, constant flow every day, every hour, every second. And just imagine what that feels like. Or remember what it feels like. And if this didn't resonate with you at all, that's okay too. You can just let it lie, let it lie. And a lot of times we say, maybe you're the messenger. Maybe you know somebody that has been looking for this information or something like it, or would enjoy the conversation, and just share the recorded live stream with them. Yeah, be the messenger. Let's see, what is going on that I need to remind you about? Well, we have coming up next weekend the Magic of Hogwarts class. You can still register if you want to join us. Minnie and I did a short live stream to tell you a little bit more about what the class is about. I think it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing some hands-on stuff. We're going to give you information, yes, but you'll actually be making things for yourself, for your spiritual journey. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So come join us if you can, right? The other thing that is going on is Star Nations magazine September issue is out. I think you'll enjoy it. I love our cover. Oh my gosh. And I know I'm partial, but I really love our cover. And hey, you got to read I Am Nellie Kelly, who is Mervyn Kelly in the chat room here. He is one of our live stream show hosts, and he's a featured contributing writer in the August and September issue. Nellie shares with us about crystals, right? And in the September issue, it's about how to purchase a crystal, a gift for someone else. It's a good read. It's got some great tips in there too, and some a short list of crystals that are, if you're looking for a crystal for somebody that you might not really know a lot about, he gives it some suggestions, right? So good one. If you get a chance, read his article. Peggy is saying the angels need to be asked. Yes, they do. They do need to be asked. Otherwise, they're just watching us, being there with us, watching us until we ask for help. Can they actually help us, right? George fell asleep. You realize that every time he's been up here with me for a live stream, he has slept through it. I don't know what that exactly means. Is he bored? I don't think so. But I have talked to my spiritual team and asked them to help with George so that he's comfortable and that we're able to do the live stream in a comfortable way. And so he falls asleep. All right. So enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for the energy for the day, the card reading. Let's see, tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, I'll be here at 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern. And until then, Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.